Okay, so we moved on to the rear of our S10 project truck, and today we're gonna disassemble the drum brakes, put in new brake shoes. What else are we doing?
We'll do new brake drum as well, and then also the hardware kit and the wheel cylinder. So all that stuff is located behind this drum, so the first step really is to pull the drum off. Make sure you have safety glasses on, use the flat end.
You just keep hitting it till it comes off, or what?
Well, no. If it doesn't come easy, then what you need to do is possibly go in and make an adjustment to the shoes. So inside of here, there is a automatic adjuster, and it's a star wheel that has a threaded area. And as the brake shoes wear, that star wheel turns and adjusts the shoes out for the wear. And so what we can do is adjust that star wheel so that those shoes move in, and then it'll make it easier to remove that drum. So the rust ridge I was talking about could be located right there. And what'll happen is either it'll get worn in or rust will just build up on this outer edge and hold it from pulling off. So looking at these are pretty nice. There's not any evidence of the wheel seal leaking. That would be here. You'd notice wetness coming down from the center of the axle. The wheel cylinder is also not leaking that I can see here. We'll inspect it further when we get to that point. But I believe we're going to be replacing that anyway. All of this hardware looks to be in pretty good shape, but all of it's going to get replaced. If you weren't replacing everything and you were just inspecting this stuff, what you can do is make sure that everything moves freely, and that's a good sign, okay? So there's nothing locked up. If the wheel cylinder actuates, it's going to move all that stuff just like it should.
So there's an okay amount of pad life left. But...
Yeah, 5 millimeters, and really you can't actually judge it by the colors on here. That's just a guide. What you really need to do is to look at a brake spec manual or a service like Mitchell or AllData, and it will tell you what the specification for lining thickness should be. And so in this case, we've got 5 on the trailing shoe, 4 millimeters, well, 4 to 5. So this one isn't wearing quite evenly. It's a little thicker down here than it is up here. So 4 to 5 millimeters on the leading shoe. Next step would be to remove all of the brake shoes and hardware. So a good place to start is to start by taking these springs off. Now, this pin's a little too big to use that tool. So I'm gonna grab my spring hook and use it to kind of drive it up and pull it off. There we go. So you always wanna start with the one that was in the front. Yep, just like that. There you go. Nice job. We hold the pin on the back side, give it about a quarter turn. We're gonna pull out all of this stuff. There you go, you're doing it. So spread that apart and pull it down. And so now we've got the parking brake cable here, and now we can unhook it like that. And as you notice there's a problem, right? So this thing is quite long.
Yep.
And there's something wrong here. So we'll have to inspect that and see what we can do to fix that. All of the hardware is off. So really, that's basically a disassembled brake drum setup. Now we've got the wheel cylinder here. And I mentioned we could take a look at it and make sure that it was not leaking. And you can look here around this side and see that there's no leakage in this area, right? So those are good, but you know, they're old, and we're gonna replace those just so the whole braking system is fresh.
All right, we have the old wheel cylinder off now. We're gonna install our new wheel cylinder and get the brake line connected again.
These are pretty straightforward. I would say this, make sure you start the brake line first into the port. That way everything's lined up when you go ahead and put the other bolts in. Sometimes it can be a challenge if you bolt it in first and then try to do the line. Now that Chris has that all installed, what we're gonna go ahead and do is clean this backing plate, make sure we get off all the grease and grime and other brake fluid and everything that's leaked out of here. And how we do that is with brake clean. That's actually what this stuff was designed for. So we'll use that along with a wire brush.
We've lubricated our contact points with our brake parts lubricant. Now we're going to start reassembling the brake shoes in here. So what's our next piece, Daryl?
So first thing, we'll go ahead and grab the shoe that's going to go on the rear. I've reinstalled the parking brake actuation lever. So on our shoe, it's going to go in this notch. And if you would, I'm going to have you hold this up in a position, because this one likes to move around quite a bit. It's going to go around that pin. So if you could hold it right there. This other lever that goes on, this part here has a lot of moving pieces. So that's in place. It was just sitting a little bit crooked, but we're in place now. Now on this one, it's going to sit this way, this kind of edge facing out. This wider space is going to go across these two plates here, kind of bind them together. And now for our forward one, I want to take our adjuster spring, and it's going to clip on to here like this, and into this slot. The pin from the back side. We will now install this forward spring here. That one is in place. This spring in, and you had a hook tool. So if you would hook that in there, over. That way it's in position. It was a little bit challenging to get that in there. There that time, so we have some tension pulling up. We're going to put this into a groove there. And then now that is in position. That feels pretty good there. We got a little bit of drag when rotating. I'm fine with that. Once we have the wheel on, torque down, this will be sitting all the way flush in its final rest position. We'll come back and do a final adjustment check. Sometimes we'll go and adjust the solo wheel to where it basically is locking the brakes down, and then back it off a few turns of that adjuster, and then leave it alone.
Okay.
So that'll be fine for now.